Game of Thrones season needs to answer 15 burning questions. The final. The night may be dark and full of terrors, but the final season of Game of Thrones had better shine a light on some pressing mysteries. Fans have been waiting a long time for answers to the biggest questions Thrones has unfurled over the years. And the series has just 6 episodes to wrap it all up. So let's hope writers are generous with the big reveals, without overdoing it, as Lost did. Here are the 15 biggest questions Season 8 should address. 1. Who will tell Jon he's really Aegon Targaryen? And what will he do with that information? Now that it's abundantly clear that Jon Snow is actually Aegon Targaryen, the rightful heir to the 7 kingdoms, who is going to tell the former king in the north that he's not who thinks he is, and that he's actually having sex with this ant? And once Jon knows who he is, what will he do? Tell Daini? Tell Tyrion or Davos or his sister/cousins? Knowing Jon, there will be at least a little brooding involved. 2. Are either Cersei or Daini pregnant? Cersei talked about being pregnant so often last season that it seems like she can't really be with child. Daini protested a bit too much that she can't have kids. Jon's insistence in the Season 7 finale that Daini shouldn't trust the prophecy that called her infertile seems to foreshadow the pair will have an incest baby. What that baby means, or what it may do, could tip the scales in the final season. 3. Is Tyrion in love with Daini? The dark glare Tyrion gave Jon and Dany's door as they consummated their love in the Season 7 finale might mean that he's fallen in love with his current queen, and maybe that explains why his tactical decisions have been so bad. Thrones should also declare, once and for all, whether he's a Targaryen, a fan theory that first surfaced with the publication of the Thrones books and was given credence by Tyrion's hangout with the dragons in Season 6. 4. Will Daini go full Mad Queen? Everyone's favorite mother of dragons has demonstrated a penchant for merciless, brutal violence, just like her father, the Mad King Aerys. If Jon has to kill his lover/aunt because she's become everything Ned Stark was fighting against, it would mark a tragic ending for the series. 5. Where has Melisandre been? Remember the good old red woman, who burns little kids at the stake? After Jon banished her from the north in Season 6, she briefly popped up at Dragonstone in Season 7 to tell Daini to seek out Jon and had a disturbing chat with Varys. We haven't seen her since, but we know she'll be back at some point. Maybe she'll hang out with Arya, because in Season 3 Melisandre prophesied that she'd meet the lethal Stark daughter again. 6. Who is the prince, SS, who was promised? We keep hearing about this prophecy, and both Daini and Jon fit the bill as chosen ones who, maybe, have the power to defeat the White Walkers. Will it be one of them, the obvious choices? Will it be their maybe baby? And will it mean anything, or instead mark one more failure of magic and religion? 7. What does the Night King want? The greatest sin the final season of Thrones could commit would be to leave the Night King a mute, inscrutable villain who just wants death and destruction. This series is known for its devilishly complex villains, so making the ultimate bad guy a blank slate feels like a betrayal. So far, all we know about the Night King is that he could throw a javelin at the Olympics, was one of the first men, and likes to make weird patterns out of body parts. That has to mean something more. 8. Will Jaime kill Cersei? Remember Maggie the Frog, the witch who predicted Cersei's marriage to Robert and her children's deaths when Cersei was a kid? In the books, her prophecy goes further, suggesting that Cersei will be killed by a Valonqar, a Valyrian word that means little brother. Tyrion and Jaime are both younger, Jaime by a minute or two, and although Tyrion and Cersei have been at each other's throats for years, a far more poetic ending for Cersei would be at the hand of her twin and lover, with whom she feuded in the Season 7 finale. 9. Why does Beric Dondarrion keep coming back from the dead? This question might have been are Beric and Tormund alive, but the Season 8 promos revealed that they survived Viserion's assault of the Wall. But Beric's survival begs the question, why does the Lord of Light, if that's really who it is, keep bringing him back? What role does he play? 10. Will Nymeria and/or Ghost return? We caught a glimpse of a wolf in Season 7 that was probably Arya's long-lost dire wolf Nymeria, but the reunion was short-lived. Will Nymeria be back again? And, speaking of dire wolves, where's Jon's? We haven't seen him in a while. 11. Why was Littlefinger's dagger in one of Sam's books? The dagger Littlefinger gave to an assassin in Season 1 reappeared twice last season, when Littlefinger gave it to Bran, who then gave it to Arya, and in a sketch in the book that Sam flipped through at the Citadel. Was that just a fun callback, or will the dagger mean something more? 12. Will we ever get a Clegane Bowl? During Season 6, many fans hoped that brothers the Mountain and the Hound might clash, a theoretical fight nicknamed the Clegane Bowl. It didn't happen in Season 6, but in the Season 7 finale, the Hound threatened his zombified brother. Will a final battle make the bowl a reality? And who would win? 13. What happened to Gendry after he reached the Wall? Gendry collapsed into Davos's arms after running back to the Wall and beyond the Wall, but we didn't see him in the Season 7 finale. Was he at Eastwatch with Tormund and Beric when the Wall came down? 14. Who will live and who will die? Who will survive the Great War, and anything else Thrones can throw at its poor characters? Will anyone be left alive at all? 15. Who will sit on the Iron Throne? Does it even matter? Is the fight between the living and the dead more important than the fight for the throne? Or should we pay attention to who makes decisions about all the peasants who have suffered so much? The question of who, or what, will rule the Seven Kingdoms still looms large, even if the ultimate answer is no one. Get ready for the end of Game of Thrones.